right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons, in studio, joined by Randy Ingston. What's up, man?
What's up, my guy?
Well, after some cables and some cords, and we got the podcast up and running.
We did it. We did it. We finally made it.
God bless. God bless. Got a good show for you guys today. And this came up from as we start to plan our next Grow Summit, which is going to be in September of next year, by the way. News to follow. Start marking your calendars.
September of 2024.
Yep. This is as far as you got to start planning. But regardless of that, when we're talking about who's a good fit to be in this room, it kind of fits that Iron Circle style person, right?
Yep.
That gym owner that's doing 30K or more, looking for what's next. They've got your things at their gym kind of humming, and they've got a good team, and maybe they're in the operation. Maybe they've worked themselves out of the operation. Regardless, we were talking about who is that perfect gym owner to be in this room for the Grow Summit. And I started looking at the current Iron Circle members and like who are the people that are like will be a good fit, right? And one of the gym owners came across our mind, and I gave him a call and had a good call with him. And I was like, hey, what was it that made you decide, to move into the Iron Circle? Because at the end of the day, he was already in a coaching group.
Yep.
He was in a mastermind, but he found himself as the top dog in that mastermind. He found himself listening to the same thing over and over, people asking the same questions and nobody taking action, and people are like, lower level, not to say that there's higher level, I mean, actually there was lower level gym owner questions that he had solved years prior.
Yeah.
And he ended up coaching a lot of these guys, and he ended up being like, I'm not getting any value here because I'm the one coaching everybody. What is it, what else is there?
Yeah.
And this was the same exact place I found myself in. I had been in masterminds, and I was like, what's the next mastermind out there that's the guys that are doing the best?
Yeah.
Who has it? Nobody had it. It didn't exist. That's why we created the Iron Circle, period, end of day.
Yeah.
And we having that conversation with them reminded me of why we did this.
It was done much like a lot of the things. It's done from necessity.
Yep. It didn't exist. We created it. And as we grew this thing since 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, moving into 2024, this thing has just gotten better and better and better. And yes, we talk about that gym that you have. Maybe it's multiple gyms. We got Iron Circle members in there that have 5, 7 gyms.
55 locations.
Yeah.
That's one of them.
Right. Going
55 locations.
Right. Who's that? Who's the
Redline?
Oh, thank you. 55 locations, and we've got breakouts for that stuff coming up. So we're just trying to just get better and better and better. And it reminded me like, okay, there's people out there listening to this podcast or don't even know who we are.
Yeah.
Like maybe they're not even listening to this podcast. They're in these masterminds right now. They find themselves in there year after year, not really getting any better. Like maybe they grew in the beginning and now they're kind of just, this is as far as the mastermind they're in will get them.
And that's exactly what it comes down to is, at some point you can only squeeze so much out of the business that you have, right? I mean, within the 4 walls of your one location, maybe it is opening up a second or franchising or licensing or something like that. But if that's the thought, are you able to even get what you're looking for out of the current groups that you're in? Right.
So there's folks in those groups, and they're listening to the same problems that everybody's having, and nobody's either fixing it or the new people are coming in at the same problems, but they're not getting what they need out of that group.
Yeah.
And again, I was there.
Yep.
The mastermind members or the Iron Circle members that we've been talking to, that's the same seat they're in. They're searching right now. They don't know that Iron Circle exists.
Yeah.
They hadn't heard of us yet or whatever. And there's some kind of loyalty that they feel that the reason that they're not making those moves, because like, hey, if you're in a coaching group or a mastermind that got you from A to B, and you're grateful for that, because without them, you wouldn't be at B.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not the ones that get you to C. There's still some loyalty to like, hey, you got me from A to B. I need to stick this out. But do you?
Yeah.
Do you?
Great question.
In the Iron Circle members that are in our group now, if they ever get to a point where they're not growing anymore, I'd say, yeah, move on.
Yeah, we'd expect that.
We'd want you to move on.
Yeah.
But we have such big growth potential for gyms in our operation because 30K is the minimum to get in the door. But there's guys, I mean, hell, we did 140 last month, right? There's 4 times, 5 times what their, that minimum is. But 30K a month in a lot of gym masterminds, that's the top dog.
Yeah, we know it statistically. I mean, we're talking probably top 1% of all fitness facilities, fitness training gyms, training facilities nationwide. So to be in the 1%, but trying to figure out how to go to the 0.5%,
right?
You have to be in the right room, and that's really what it comes down to. Is what is the caliber of the questions being asked? What is the potential from the information being provided? The old analogy, like if you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Correct.
And so, why don't we kind of explain some of the things that we do talk about in the Iron Circle that, in our opinion, differentiates us from kind of what the $30,000 per month gym
right.
is really here and everywhere else.
Well, if I look at, great question. If I look at what the Iron Circle members need and where they're at and what, the things that are going to get them to the next level, it's pretty much a few things. Like number one, leadership qualities to then run their teams. Number two, I think most of them, the reason they're not maybe completely out of the gym is because they need that fitness director, 1 or 2 layers between them and the deliveries.
Agreed.
of the facility, so they don't lose one person and get dragged back into the operations. So we're talking about that. We're talking finance. We're talking what's next. We're deep into real estate in this group. Many of us have real estate, either commercial or land, farms, commercial buildings, short-term rentals, duplexes, long-term rentals. There's a lot of different plays. Hell, I'm even in an island now. I got an island in Belize going now. So like a development there. We talked life insurance policies, insurance, tax deferment strategies. At the end of the day, I think everybody would probably want a couple of the things I'm going to say. They want more time, more money. They want the freedom. They want the freedom. And so if you find yourself, the opposite of that, I'm being drugged into the gym every day, that's the first thing we got to do.
Absolutely.
We got to get you out of the operations. Maybe you want to be in there for some stuff, but not because you have to.
Yep.
You get the right to choose.
Amen.
And we can only do that if you have a sound operation. If your monthly recurring revenue is greater than your base operating expenses, if you got systems and procedures. We just did a full-blown SOP workshop last week.
Oh, yeah.
I broke down all the phases of an SOP. I even gave everybody our SOPs. Like, here. Start here, make them your own, whatever.
And to speak to that point, because that's really one of the greatest attributes a mastermind can have or should have, right? It's the sharing of those ideas down to the physical components, like sharing your legitimate SOPs for this gym.
Yeah.
You gave them 80% of the workload, if you may, and they just got to go firm it up and touch it up and edit it for their facility, but they don't have to go restart. I mean, it took us 6 months to put that stuff together, almost daily activity in this facility to be able to create that. And now they have that at a click of a button. You know what I mean? They're starting with at least that.
Of course.
And that's the best part of the mastermind. We've said it there's nothing that we do here that the Iron Circle doesn't have access to.
Correct.
And that to me is, that's step one of a mastermind. Not just the information and the ask, but like, hey, here are the assets. Here are job descriptions. Here are org charts. Here are, there's so much from a tangible component that's already there.
Correct.
And that to me is huge. Huge.
It's you're buying time. You're buying, look, guys, when it comes to running a gym operation, a lot of it's been figured out. I mean, there's not much out there that either we haven't dealt with or over 450 years of gym owner experience in the mastermind that we run, the Iron Circle hasn't figured out.
There's 19 more gyms since we did that tally too.
Oh gosh.
19 more gym owners with that many more years per person. You know what I mean? I'm sure we're over the 1,000 year mark.
1,000 years. Yeah. That was an old.
Yeah, that was
22. August of 22.
Yeah.
So that's a year and a half.
There's 19 more gyms that are now contributing to the knowledge and the questions. And I mean, we have numerous forms of communication, you know, speaking on topic down specific lanes. We've got a daily chat where it's anything under the sun goes type of thing. But there is no, to your point, there's no question that's going to be asked that in that group of gym owners, somebody hasn't even either dealt with themselves or the group collectively can answer within minutes, typically.
Right, and we've nurtured a culture inside the Iron Circle of sharing. I mean, because I will be honest with you, I've been in other groups or been around other groups. People hold that shit close and they don't share. What's the point, guys? Look, you guys are, one's in Washington, one's in Florida. Like, you guys aren't going to compete with each other. Like, just share the stuff. And once that sharing starts to happen, everybody opens up. And it's been that way for years. And I just, and I think it comes from us. We're like, I'm going to give everybody our SOPs. Like, that's our operations. Like, what else do you want?
That's a secret sauce, essentially, to running, you know, this business every day.
Sure. So
and if you can be that transparent, there's nothing to hide.
There's nothing to hide. We talk financials. I mean, look, not everybody's in a great position. We've got people that have had vehicles run into their building and insurance is not covering stuff. They're having loss of business. Like, there's things that people come across that, look, I've never had to deal with a car driving into my building. No. But everybody kind of collectively, like, here's step one, step two, step
I think like 3 other gym owners have, though. That's the crazy thing. Like these off the wall. I remember when we were doing that roundtable at the same event, and somebody was our buddy Rob was asking if he should buy the location.
Right.
But one of the stipulations was one of the units used to be a
dry cleaner.
Dry cleaner, thank you. And the chemicals that went into all that, like he was going to be on the hook for that. In that room, 2 other gyms had the exact same situation. Yeah. With not only just like potential to buy their unit, no, with a dry cleaner and the chemicals and all, like that specific of a problem, 2 other people in a room had already lived that experience
and pushed them away from making that decision because of what they felt, what they did,
what they went through. Exactly. And it's real world experience. It's real. You know, it's what today is. It's what the history of their gym has been. It's what's got them there. But again, to your point, this is the next. And so saved somebody, you know, years of financial hardship potentially.
That could have crushed them, right?
He could have closed those doors.
Yep,
absolutely.
Exactly. Yes, that's what masterminds are. Gosh, if I can bring it up, is it Dan Kennedy? Is it somebody? The mastermind's the combination of multiple minds. It becomes the mastermind. That's where the name came from. I think it's Dan Kennedy. Anyways, it's one of those old schoolers. But it's the combination of multiple minds thinking about how to solve the same problem.
Yep.
And you get access to that. You know, one of the things we do talk about the gym. Like, that's the foundation everybody has. And so it's probably 80-20. Maybe I'm even trying to get it to 50-50 at some point where we're talking about 50% of the gym, 50% what's next.
Yeah.
You know, we're doing break-off circles now. We're kind of putting people into multi-units and all these other things. We got plenty of stuff to share as it kind of unfolds for 24. But there is no mastermind out there in the fitness industry that speaks to that highest achieving 0.5% gym owner. That was me.
Yep.
And I couldn't find it. It didn't exist. I created it. Yes, there's masterminds that cater to the new gym owner. There's masterminds that cater to making your first $10,000 a month. Hell, maybe even $20,000 a month. Maybe even it's $30,000. Congratulate. Like, that's awesome. But the problems change once you get past $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month.
And so your desires.
In your desires. If I'm making $50,000 or even $40,000 and I'm in another fitness mastermind and I'm looking around and people are making 18, 12, 15, 25, we celebrating at 30,000 and I'm at 40 or I'm at 50, that's not the top. I know the top is much higher. It's 80, 90, 100, 140. Like, that's what we're dealing with in the Iron Circle. And I wanted to be that place. I wanted to be selfishly, I was the smartest person in the room. I needed to create a new room because the room didn't exist, or else I would have gone to it. Trust me, creating
it would have been much easier to be in a mastermind than create one.
Than create it from scratch. Absolutely. It just doesn't exist, guys. And I know all the coaches out there. I just know them all. And they're all great folks. Look, guys, they serve a purpose for everybody. But if you're sitting in another mastermind, I don't care what group you're in. All great folks out there. But if you're the top dog, you're doing yourself a disservice if you stay in that group and just listen to the same questions getting answered, and you're the one coaching people, and you're just not getting anything out of it. It's not selfish. It's doing the right thing. Like you, in fact, even if it's called selfish isn't a bad thing.
Not in that regard at all.
No. You got to provide for your family, and you got to make the moves that you need to make for. So, that's just our way of saying, hey, I'm very clear. Not everybody knows who the hell we are. And definitely even the people that do know we are don't know about the Iron Circle.
Yep.
So this is us standing on top of the mountain. We're looking for the best gym owners. I am recruiting the best of the best to be in this group. And I don't care if you're a coach of another mastermind. I don't care. I think that's great. Come on into the Iron Circle. In fact, when we created it, I knew if we were going to attract the best players, some of them are going to coach gym owners on some level. And in our group, there's been at least 5, and they're still in there. They have their own masterminds. I mean, hell, Scott Carpenter, his big PT Legends, great. He's in an Iron Circle. We're sharing together. We're growing each other's businesses. Amazing.
And he's technically one of your closest competitors within the facility, like
to gym, yeah,
exactly. So I mean, like to just reinforce everything that you said when it comes to sharing, there's enough to go around. I mean, it's not like you're not hurting because his location's doing better. Both gyms are winning, and that's the name of the game.
Name of the game. And listen, he's come in here and helped us do some stuff, and we've definitely helped him do some stuff. And he just came to me the last time and said, man, this is the best seminar I've been to ever. We're talking about the speaker school and everything else. This is exactly what I needed. Thanks for doing this. The Carras negotiations. So if you're listening to this and you run a gym mastermind and you own a gym, obviously you have to have a gym, but like you want to see what's next, come on into ours. Like, come on over. We'd love to talk to you and chat with you. I know there's some guys that coach gyms that I know are personal acquaintances of ours that, in my opinion, they probably would feel dumb to join something else like ours. But I think it'd be the best thing for everybody to do. And
even if you stayed there, even if they were coaching over there and then they came and they got the knowledge that they needed to progress here, it's only going to make them better there.
Correct.
Right. And that's the thing is like our goal is to help gym owners win. It's not to be the only one out here. You know what I mean? So that trickle down, that ripple effect.
There you go.
It's only going to help everybody elevate. But to Tim's point, I mean, this could be your calling. This could be your opportunity to become more, so that everybody else can follow in your footsteps as well.
Absolutely. Look, guys, this is a win-win-win situation. I'm full of abundance mindset. I used to not be this way. I mean, early on, I was like, I wanted to share nothing. But I mean, look at the podcast, guys. I mean, like we share it all here anyway. Like if you really wanted to just steal anything, you just listen to the show. We're giving it away. Like there's plenty to go around.
Yeah, amen.
Always going around. So listen, we've got a big event coming up in February for the Iron Circle. We got some big stuff in the works. We got our Growth Summit coming up next year. Love to, tons of stuff to share just when the time's right when we get there. But if you have any more like questions, or you're just like, man, what's this Iron Circle all about? Ironcircle.net. That's our URL website, ironcircle.net. You can watch videos and testimonials. You can watch the highlight reels of each event. I think they're all on there, right?
I believe every one.
So you can go see all the cool stuff we've been doing. And if you're a gym owner that's at the highest level of the group you're in, or if you're not even in a group and you didn't know that this existed, this is for you.
And we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. That's another big thing too. Damn right. Again, we created it selfishly, but I mean, we have a bunch of fun at those events. We're going to bring in world-class education, world-class speakers. We're going to bring in, food. We're going to wine and dine them. We eat like kings and queens. We're going to stay in some of the most ridiculous homes in this nation. Like the last one was 19,000 square feet. Why even have that many? Why even have a house that big?
That was Coco Crisp's old house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The old Coco Crisp.
But on top of that, we're going to take them out. We're going to have some fun. We've done everything from snowmobiling to jet skiing. We did a dolphin tour on jet skis. Like that alone is like cool. Once in a lifetime type, opportunity. But we're doing it while growing, while changing. I mean, when I think about it, it's wealth creation for a lifetime. It's the legacy effect. It's your family set up well beyond the four walls of your gym. One of the big things for me, and you nailed it is the freedom. I mean, the freedom. If there's nothing else that you get but the opportunity to not have to be in your business every single day, to me, that might be more valuable than anything else that you could, take away.
I agree. When you were on Justin, but you and Justin did you guys talk about the building?
We did it just a little bit. I mean, that's another good thing, right? How many of the members, of the Iron Circle have since then bought their facility?
Well, I know Justin, David Bender's working on his. Justin Emmons has started a preschool, bought a whole building, bought an old preschool, and he's redoing it. I just don't know. I don't
off
have
the top. Yeah, we didn't plan for that, but just for that sake of that conversation, I mean, if any of those things are interests to you, if you found yourself interested in that, but your current group might not be providing that kind of pathway, that's why we want you to take a look.
Yeah. Well, we're recruiting right now. I'd love to,
open anytime.
Because I owe it to the members of the Iron Circle that are currently in there to bring in the best. And if you're the best and you're not getting what you want somewhere else, let's have a chat. Ironcircle.net, give you a ton more information. It's not the cheapest out there. It's probably the most expensive, if we're being honest. And it's only going up, by the way. So sooner, the earlier you get in anyway, because as we get closer, the gross sum's going to be higher then. So something for you to think about. Take action, make moves. By the way, just re-signed again one of our Iron Circle members. Back-to-back best years ever. He joined, had a best year ever. Next year he was in, had the best year ever, just re-signed again. Brandon, same thing. Scott and Matt Toma, same thing at Kentucky. He's like, this is our second best year in a row. I go, I wonder what was the one thing that what decision did you make 2 years ago that maybe had any effect on where we're at today? I mean, yes, I'm not going to take all the credit, but what if we do anything other than what we do? It's to give people a realization of what is possible. 30K is just breaking the ice.
Yeah.
Like, we're not even getting into it. Having 2 back-to-back years in a row, when you were stagnant for 5 years prior, and then one decision makes you have a best record year, and double it again.
Well, and then we've got, guys like Bill who joined in the same year, had the ability to take 3 weeks off and go to Italy for the first time. And I think he's owned his gym 7 or 11 years or something like that.
12 years.
12 years.
Yep.
And now he, for the first time in owning that business, was able to step away, and not only just step away for a extended weekend. It was 3 weeks
in
overseas,
Italy.
And the best part was after I talked to him, he goes, "I didn't even have to check my phone.
He didn't bring it."
Yeah, exactly. It was handled, and he came back, and it wasn't burned down.
Yeah,
it wasn't. I mean, even Bender was talking about he's so afraid to take the first, the leap. But now look at what's possible. And I mean, he sent us a picture earlier today. He's on a ski hill, snowboarding.
Yeah. Another one of our Iron Circle members just sent me their goals, and one of the personal goals was, what was it? How many days out of the gym? Hold on.
It was 4 weeks, I thought.
Hold on. Sorry, guys. 8 weeks of travel.
8 weeks. Imagine taking 2 months off out of your business.
And this is a guy with 5 locations.
It's what's possible.
Freedom. That's it for this episode, guys. If that interests you, check out ironcircle.net. Would love to have a chat. No pressure either way, but if you're a top performer, well, let's at least have the conversation. At a very bare minimum, we'd love to invite you to the Grow Summit next year, and we can have that chat when you book a call. That's it for this episode, guys. Until next time, keep changing lives. We'll see you on the next show. Bye.
All right, and thank you for listening to that episode of the Built to Grow podcast, where we help gym owners win. Now, do you want to connect with me and other gym owners online? All you need to do is join our private Facebook group, Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. Just head on over to Facebook and type in Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. And when you do, we're going to give you our 10 marketing strategies 7-figure gym owners use to win. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until then, keep building something great.